You ready? What you gonna talk?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I would like to call to order our regular open session meeting for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Can I have a roll call, please?
For President Hannah,
Present.
Vice President Taylor,
Present.
Secretary Griffin,
Present.
Board Member Buchanan,
Present.
Board Member Dawson, absent. Board Member Morris, Board Member Williams-Wolford, absent.
Thank you. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As we pause for a moment of silence, I ask that you turn all cell phones on vibrate. Thank you. Moving right along, spotlight on success. There is none because we are on spring break. All right. Any public comments?
There are none.
All right. For your requests,
Yes.
Dr. Jake.
We did receive a FOIA request, and it's very similar to the ones that we receive probably about every 2 to 3 months, asking about our vendors, and that FOIA request has been satisfied.
Thank you. Upcoming events and correspondence, Madam Secretary.
Okay, there is no correspondence. And everyone is expected to read the rest of the events on their own.
Thank you. Next, the consent agenda. I'll make that motion. I make the motion that the board approve the regular open session meeting minutes for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. The regular closed session meeting minutes for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. The Lindop District 92 accounts payable for February 19th, 2024 through March 18th, 2024 in the amount of $591,843.20. The Lindop District 92 activity account reconciliation for February 20th. The Lindop District 92 payroll for February 19th, 2024 through March 18th, 2024 in the amount of $511,171.07. And the first read and adoption of change review date of March 19th, 2024 of policies 110, 120, 130, 310, 330, 340, 350, 360, and 370. Can I have a second, please?
Cheryl Griffin, I second.
Thank you. And roll call, please.
Secretary Griffin,
Yay.
Board Member Buchanan,
Yay.
President Hannah.
Yay.
Vice President Taylor,
I'm gonna abstain. I wasn't here last month.
Board Member Dawson,
Yay.
Board Member Morris, Board Member Williams-Wolford, absent.
Thank you. Old business, presentation of FY 23 audit. Mr. Arndt and Evans, Marshals, and Peace.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I have Mr. Jeff Rolifson from Evans, Marshall, and Peace is just going to give you some quick highlights on the audit process and the results.
Thanks, Andy. I'd like to thank Andy and Kathy for their help during the audit process. Audits have become immensely involved and time consuming given the proliferation of federal programs last few years. And we appreciate their assistance with those programs and the audit in general. Just have a few things to talk about. couple of highlights and I'll open up for some questions. So the district's financial statements that you see have been prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Management responsibility is for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with GAAP, and for the design, implementation, and maintenance of internal control relevant to the preparation and presentation of those financial statements. Our responsibility as auditors is to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statements as a whole are free of material misstatement. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly the financial statements of the district in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Just a couple of highlights. You've all looked at it for a couple of months now, probably. So anyway, the government-wide net position remains strong, with an overall increase of about $1,034,000 over the year, leaving just under $17,500 of net position government-wide at the end of June 30, 2023. Federal program revenue remains strong at $1,500,000. I assume the next couple of years that will probably start to go down a little bit as programs burn off and no new programs come on after COVID and those programs that were out for the last few years. Debt increased during the year by $4.9 million due to the issuance of your 2022 bond referendum, $5,235,000. The audit was completed and the financial statements were filed with the Regional Office of Education and the Illinois State Board of Education as required. For fiscal year 2023, the district earned a rating of 3.8 out of a possible 4 on the Illinois State Board of Education financial profile score. This places the district in the financial profile designation of recognition, which is the highest rating of financial strength based on their index.
Very good. Thank you.
And if you have any questions, we'd be glad to answer them.
Best.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, any questions? There are none. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Arndt, Peace, thank you. New business, recommend approval that, I'm sorry, new business.
Dr. Robbins.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Dr. Robinson, I skipped over you. Update and discussion on Juneteenth celebration, Dr. Robinson.
Good evening, board members, administration, staff, and community members. We are super excited about Lindop's participation in Broadview's Community Juneteenth celebration. We have our students who are participating in a art project in which is going to be a competition, which the winner will be able to have their picture on the vehicle sticker, as well as be highlighted on the t-shirt for the Broadview Juneteenth celebration. We are super excited about that. After that, we will have an art exhibit in which the community leaders will pick which artwork will be displayed on those items. We also are excited about the Juneteenth celebration, in which we will have a tent, which we will have art displayed, as well as an interactive display in which you will be able to hear our students' voice describe their art, as well as having a make and take activity for people to come in and make artwork to take away. So we are excited about our participation in the Broadview Juneteenth celebration this year. Any questions or anything?
No questions, just to comment that I'm really pleased with how you're getting the children involved with it. This gives it a bigger significance for them.
Yes, we are
regarding
very excited. Are very pleased that our mayor is supporting this project, so we thank her so much for that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
very good evening. Thank you.
You too. All right, now new business. Recommend approval that the business office work with the finance committee and all stakeholders to prepare the Lindop School District 92 2024-2025 school budget. Mr. Art.
I don't have anything really prepared for this other than to say this is a continued effort to collaborate with the finance committee and stakeholders to make sure that we're putting our heads together for the budget process. So that'll be a priority for us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Cheryl Griffin. I make a motion that the board approve that the business office work with the finance committee and all stakeholders to prepare the Lindop District 92, 24, and 25 school budget.
Tanya Taylor, second.
thank you. Roll call, please.
Vice President Taylor,
Yay.
Board Member Morris.
Yay.
Board Member Dawson,
Yay.
President Hannah.
Yay.
Board Member Buchanan,
Yay.
Secretary Griffin,
Yay.
Williams Wolford is absent.
Thank you. Update on summer building projects, Mr. Valentine, Mr. Arndt.
Good evening, Board of Education, community and staff. For the summer construction project, we are now accepting bids for replacement of the primary school building roof. We're gonna have a pre-bid meeting next week on the 26th. And then the next board meeting, we will be bringing back the bid and the recommendation from our architects, Archon, for you guys to vote on. We're looking to start this project on June 3rd, with anticipated completion date August 10th. The estimated budget for this cost is $890,184. So once we get the bids, we'll bring that back to the next board meeting for your approval. Any questions?
Any questions, board members?
Mr. Valentine, you also wanted to talk about some of the questions that were raised and what you're doing about that from Archon with the
Yes.
subroof?
Yeah, so the architects was out yesterday doing some field work. We realized that underneath our suspended ceiling, it was an existing ceiling before the suspended ceiling was there. And they don't want to guess what material that is that the ceiling is made out of. So we're gonna get that tested for asbestos. So we have our environmental company coming out first thing tomorrow morning to take samples and send that out for testing.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm sure the admin team did the logistics to see how we would set up school around that time because it's during summer school. I'm sure, right?
Yep, so the fourth and fifth grade wing as well as the middle school be used for summer school only. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, discussion on the upcoming food service bid, Mr. Arndt.
So again, no formal slides or anything here. Actually, if you go back, Josh, can you go back one slide for me? So this is the process and the timing of some of what Mr. Valentine covered as far as pre-bid meetings, bid approval, start date and all that. This is going to be kind of a similar process. For this, we had to publish in the newspaper. For the food service bid, we're going to have to do the same thing. So we're going to publish in the paper, we're going to accept bids. We're hoping that possibly at the April meeting, although that might be wishful thinking, we might ask the board to approve a bid if we can get through the process in time. But this is necessary for us. You can go ahead and go forward, Josh. It is necessary for us to, back to the food service one. There you go. It is necessary for us to continue participating in the National School Lunch Program. The last time, I wish I would have wrote it down, but I think the last time that this was bid out at the district might have been 2017. And so normally it's like a 3-year period where you're covered. And then because of COVID and extensions, it's now to the point where we've exhausted all extensions and we have to bid this out this year. So we're going to be working on the invitation for bid, the publications and all those things in the next week or so, and get that process started for you.
Thank you.
Mr. Arndt, can you help me understand when you said we sending this out to bid under the National School Lunch Program? There's several organizations that can offer the services to our school.
Correct.
So we're just gonna go with, and why wouldn't we go with the organization that we kept doing the extensions with? Was there a problem?
No, it is mandatory that we have to bid the service out. So we're able to bid it out and have a contract, and forgive me, I'm not sure if it's 3 or 5 years, but there's an end date to it. And so normally you would bid it out, you'd have that, say, 3-year contract, and then you would have to bid it out at the end of the program in order to continue to be able to say you did your due diligence to get the best opportunity for the district. We are kind of unique. We're a smaller district with smaller serving sizes. And as you can imagine, these food service companies really, they want the big fish first, you know. But we've had very good luck with Taher, who we work with right now. I have asked them, they are obviously eager to bid and continue serving the district, so we know that they're going to be interested. And then, of course, it's going to be a public bid process. So, we'll see what comes in, and then we'll identify the best option for the district that meets all the criteria for the bid.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, before you go. My quick question. Do the kids like the food from Tar? Or what's their name? Tahar?
Taher?
Yeah, Tahar. Do the students like the food from there?
I think so. I haven't surveyed them myself, but I'm aware from Miss Ann's feedback, that there's days, we talked about some of this food scrap service that we're gonna do, and, whether or not there's leftover food to participate in that program. And some days there's none, it's all served and accounted for. So I would say that there's certain meals that are preferred, and others there might be some extras, but I think vegetables might have something to do with
I
that.
hear you. I hear you. All right, thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, moving right along, board president report. I have no surprises. Nothing's popping up, right? Not that I know of. I have nothing. Moving right along, superintendent's report.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Board of Education, community, administrators, and team. So as we say always, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Got some interesting things that have been happening. So for our board goal number 1 with student achievement, West 40 Spelling Bee happened on the March 6th. And so the next, and that was for the West 40 Spelling Bee, but the next one will be the regional, and this will be the first time that we're hosting the regional spelling bee. I'm not sure if you all remember a few years ago and how excited we were that we would finally be able to host the spelling bee. It had typically been at Triton for the regional spelling bee. However, it will be here at Lindop on the 26th of March. I know that you all are excited about it, and I can't wait to see you all there. We'll have an amazing time. We look at our B, our winner was Lazarick Williams, 8th grader. Also, it was just an amazing time. He was our representative from Lindop, and the regional one will be on the 28th. 26, not the 28th. We did make sure that we celebrated him, and he had a cake, Lazarick going above and beyond. All right, so we did that last Friday. Also, last Friday was the beginning of spring break, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how our men of distinction have been working with that. Next, we have Read Across America Day, where several of the people, if you look at the photo, you see Mr. Dawson walking through the cafeteria. He was read for the day. We also had Mr. Arndt, who read for the day as well, talked about his experiences there. The children were excited about it. Next, board goal number 5, Community District Relations Black History Program, the 50th in hip hop. That was amazing for everyone that could attend with that. The children were very, very excited. And I think we were even excited to hear some of those older songs from different genres. And so it was very well attended, and people have been talking about it ever since they left. So thank everyone in the team for helping us to get that together, all of the planning and the hard work that you do with the sound and the music, and me sort of making sure that we have everything together. So thank you all for that. Next, we have the presentation that happened at the IESB on March 6th. That was about women in leadership. And just want to ask you all a question. So about the presentation, if you go to the next one. So we were talking about the realm of women in leadership, and something that was particularly, I don't know, I don't want to say that it was information, it was new information, but it was shocking to hear. So if you look at female superintendents and the change from 2018 to 2022, was 29% females in the superintendency in 2018, 29% in 2020, and it just moved up one more percentage point in 2022. So not a lot of traction there, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And the American Association of School Administrators did report that a lot of females, they wait until later to come into the profession. They have children and families to take care of. And it also talked about how the female superintendents also did not have the same edge that their male counterparts did. And so we're looking to have some equity in females in the superintendency. Thank you for allowing me to go and to represent Lindop. Thank you. Next, something really good is that I had an opportunity to nominate Mrs. Ann Smith. She has been here for a while, but for the Governor's Volunteer Service Awards. And so she will be honored at the South Shore Country Club on April 25th. Next, we have our Black Men United. So excited about that. They came up with the idea and working very closely alongside our admin team. And thank you so much again, Dr. Robertson, but Mr. Morris as well as Mr. Buchanan, they have just really been trying to find out how to get more involvement, but also how to keep our children engaged and show their presence. And so on the last day, which was last Friday, the 15th, we had hot dogs. And they, each child took home a hot dog. They had a little wristband and saying, never give up. And just to let them know that they were being thought of and had to have a great spring break. So they were all excited about that. If you missed this, I'll make sure that you guys get the YouTube link for it because this was a sight to see. And so you see Mr. Morris and Mr. Buchanan is there playing. And then some other men of distinction who are throughout the community and just helping out with the children. It was quite the sight. I'll make sure that you all have the link and Mr. Hannah running around. Yep. So it was very good. It was just a sight to see. Next time to file your SCI. So your Cook County clerks with our clerk of our ethics statements. Make sure that you do that if you have not done so already. And finally, we have one more thing. Happy birthday, Miss Carter. Happy birthday. And that concludes my report.
That was so good.
Thank you. Ms. Carter, I'm sorry. I left you out of my early president's report. Happy birthday. Forgot about that. Men of distinction, thank you for everything that you guys are doing for our students as well. Mr. Morris, Mr. Buchanan, thank you for all of that. We really appreciate it.
Let me say something. I gotta say this though. I mean, since Greg has came over, he's driving me nuts. Cause he want to do something every day. And I really commend him for that. And then, you know, we had a little snafu on the chips. He ain't gonna take no credit for it, but he sent his wife to the store to get those chips. You know, he paid for them out of his pocket. Didn't say nothing about it. But I'm just saying, we ready though. You know, and then we can't say that about our superstar right here.
Yes,
I mean, she everywhere all the time. So it's like, it's just so much stuff going on. And, you know, this man right here, he working 8 jobs. I mean, but he on it. So I just want to say that.
Mr. Buchanan, Mr. Morris, like I said, thank you. Men of distinction, thank you if you guys are listening as well. Okay, committee reports, Personnel Committee meeting, Mr. Hannah, Ms. Griffin. Next meeting date is to be determined. Our Finance Committee meeting, Ms. Griffin, Mr. Hannah. That next meeting date is to be determined. PACE Governing Board Meeting, Mr. Dawson, Mr. Morris, Wednesday, February 21st, 2024 at 6 p.m. That next meeting date is Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Safety SEL Committee Meeting, Mr. Morris, Mr. Buchanan, next meeting date is to be determined. Policy Committee Meeting, Mr. Dawson, Ms. Williams-Woodford, Wednesday, March 6th, 2024 through at 4:30 p.m. That next meeting date is April 3rd, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. I'm sorry.
Was there
Yeah,
a
I'm
report
sorry.
from
No report.
See what I'm saying? There's
Just go
usually
ahead.
none.
Just go ahead. Keep it
Thank
moving.
I knew what's going on here.
So one thing that happened at Pace, and Mr. Arnn and I were at the last minute, they were going over their audit as well. And they were talking about their fund balances. And so we'll be coming back to you all with some more information about that and how they don't have the same fund balances, nor do they have the same access. And it's kind of weird because our most at-risk students have the least amount of opportunity and flexibility to be able to use the spending. So that's something that is at the top of the conversations that we've been having, as well as giving information to Director Michael James so that he can take it back to the governing board. So, thank you.
I'm sorry, I skipped right over it. All right. Policy Committee, Mr. Dawson, Ms. Williams-Woodford, Wednesday, March 6th, 2024 at 4:30. That next meeting date is April 3rd, 2024 at 4:30. Mr. Dawson, is there anything to tell us?
Dr. Jackson, you want to mention anything? It was standard fare and we voted on the first reads, but if you want.
Nothing other than we just voted on the first and second reads.
Thank you. Para CIA Committee Meeting, Mr. Morris, Ms. Taylor, that next meeting date is to be determined. Technology Committee Meeting, Ms. Taylor, Mr. Buchanan, that next meeting date is to be determined. Strategic Planning Committee Meeting, all board members, that next meeting date is to be determined. Community Engagement Committee Meeting, Ms. Griffin, Mr. Buchanan, March 1st, 2024 at 4:30. And March 1st, 2024 at 4:30 and Friday, March 15th, 2024 at 3:30. That next meeting date is to be determined. Ms. Griffin, Mr. Buchanan, anything to tell us?
It was just during my report.
All right. Friday, March 1st, 2024, Men of Distinction versus the students, that basketball game. We just talked about that. Friday, March 15th, Black Men United Hot Dogs for Spring Break Kickoff. We just talked about that as well. Negotiations Committee Meeting, Ms. Griffin, Mr. Hannah, as activated when needed. Any public comments? There are none. Okay, I move that the board go into closed session under 5 ILCS 120-2 C1 to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, or performance of specific employees at 5:58 p.m. Have a second, please.
Second, Dawson.
Roll call, please.
Board President Hannah.
Yay.
Vice President Taylor.
Yay.
Secretary Griffin.
Yay.
Board Member Buchanan.
Yay.
Board Member Dawson.
Yay.
Board Member Morris. Board Member Williams-Wilford, absent.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And where you got to go?
Huh?
Where you got to go? The way you ran through this?
Thanks, bro.
28 minutes.
I'm telling you.
There we go. Rolling. Holy